Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review of the Wolfman with spoilers. Okay, I did a review of it without spoilers because I mostly talk about stuff that you saw in the trailer and stuff, so I put no spoilers. But this review is going to have spoilers in it. And I gave that movie, I gave it 2.5 stars. Okay, based on my 4-star system rating system was 1 star is poor, 2 stars is fair, 3 stars is good, and 4 stars is excellent. So I gave it 2.5 stars, somewhere between fair and good, but not quite good. Okay, but better than fair. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about spoilers for this movie. And again, I saw a lot of people that weren't ecstatic, especially happy with the the makeup, especially because, like I said, they showed like a preview of it when I guess they had a Universal down at Universal Studios. They had like a display of the movie, and they had a guy that was kind of dressed up. He looked like basically he looked like an old man with whiskers and claws and stuff, and he didn't look too scary. And I guess people were saying, I hope that's not the final transformation in this movie. And that creature, I think, was actually the creature that scratched the main character in this movie. And basically, the story is again about not a strange couple, because I guess that couple that's having little issues in their marriage. Yeah, I think you have the lead character. His name is what's his name? Hold on. The lead character is Blake, and his wife is Charlotte, playing Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner. And you can tell from a little bit of the scenes that we see before in New York before they go off to the cabin. Once they find out that his father who's been missing for years, has been legally declared dead by the state of Oregon. So he basically is going up there to close the house up, and also have this trip to try to reconnect with his family, because he feels like he's kind of losing his family, that his wife is always busy and stuff, and she's not spending enough time with him and their daughter. Okay, and he has a closer relationship because he's a writer, so he's at home, so he's more like the spouse, the house husband, so to speak, while his wife is out there working. And so they go up to the cabin in Oregon, and of course they, like you see in the trailer, they're driving and they get attacked. Now, actually, before they get attacked, they meet one of these neighbors that I guess that lives down the road, and he gets in the truck with them, and they're driving out. And then when they're driving down to their house, they see it. He sees the creature in the road, so he swerves to avoid it. And of course, that's when you see what you see in the trailer with the truck going sideways, and the truck being like halfway that, and then that's when the guy that's next to him, the hunter, he falls out of the truck, and then you see something just attack him and pull him off, and you just hear the growling. And so the family, they jump down off the thing, and they run to the house, and they lock themselves in the house before the creature can get to them. But there's a scene, when they're in the truck, and you see the glass break, and he thinks that at first you think that the creature just smashes the glass, and he even thinks that he just got cut by the glass. But when he's in the house with his wife, and she sees that his arm is bleeding, and he thought maybe that he got cut by glass, and she pulls his arm up, and you see in the trailer he didn't get cut. He didn't get cut by the glass. He got scratched by this wolf character. Okay, and of course, then he starts slowly transforming into the werewolf. And let me say, we find out later in the movie that it's actually his father, because of a tattoo that we see in the beginning of the movie when they show a flashback of his father and him hunting in the woods. And there's a scene where they almost get attacked literally by a wolf creature then. Okay, and then you hear the father, after they survive, him talking on a CB radio to somebody saying, I almost saw it, like I almost got it, to somebody. So obviously the father knows that there's this creature in the woods, this wolf man or some creature, whatever it is. And he thought that he was going to get it, but the creature never. There's a good tension in that scene in that flashback where you see the father and son. They get into the hunting, thing in the trees, and then you just see the breath of the creature, and you hear it growling, but you don't actually see it. Okay, and that was really creepy. But later, again, we find out again, and so we're to assume, because later we find out when the main character of Blake is going through his transformation. And I know the director said that he wanted to, because he wrote it during COVID, and he wanted to be more like The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum version of it, where he slowly transformed into a fly. He's just slowly started losing body parts and stuff. So he wanted this to be similar to that, and it is in ways. And you get some creepy scenes of him slowly losing his hair and his teeth coming out, and and it's just some creepy, really creepy scenes of that happening to him. And at the same time, they show it from his point of view. Like it gets to the point when he's going through his transformation where he can't understand them anymore. It looks like sort of like a tunnel vision. And I know the director said it's more like, he's seeing it from his, while he's slowly turning into this wolf type like creature. He's seeing it, he's seeing it through, this narrow lens. And I love the way they shoot it, where you can see it from his point of view. And he can't understand them, and they can't understand him because he's slowly, and she's trying to tend to him and make him feel better. And at the same time, they're trying to figure out a way to get out of this place because this creature is stalking around the house, trying to get in. And there's even a scene of the creature like grabbing the when they walk. The father is banging. He put a cabinet against the door and he's nailing it to the door. And I guess there's a doggy door down at the bottom, and the creature kind of grabs him by the legs and tries to pull him out until the wife, hits it with a hammer and it goes away. But anyway, we find out the creature later when the creature breaks into the house actually, and him and the father, him and the creature and this Blake guy, who's slowly transforming. They have a fight, and he basically bites the creature. He kills it by biting it in the neck, basically severing its jugular vein and killing it. And later we see on the creature, he has a tattoo that we saw early in the movie that the father had. So we're to assume, and I'm assuming this is my assumption about this, that the father maybe in all that time, because the character Blake explains that he hated living up there with his father in that isolated place, and he said as soon as he was able to leave, he left. Okay, and I'm assuming that the father kept going hunting in the woods looking for this creature, and maybe he even found it at one point, and maybe he tried to kill it, and maybe he did kill it, but maybe it scratched him or bit him before he could kill it, and then he started turning it. And all this movie takes place over one night, okay, over one long night, which kind of makes sense in a way, because I was trying to think, before I saw this movie, why would they stay in the cabin if this took place over a couple of days or so? That's what I thought at first. It makes no sense that they they would just wait until the daytime, and just leave. But then I thought, after a while, I said, well, maybe the creature, because if you watch that flashback, that's happening in the daytime. So this creature, I guess, when it transforms, it's not like the classic Wolfman where the creature only changes at the light of the full moon. No, this creature, once he changes, he's the creature all the time. Okay, that's what we find out later, that because you see in the flashback we see it's happening in the daytime when they're out there hunting, Blake and his father. That's happening in the daytime. And at the end of the movie, where the mom and the daughter run up when they're being chased by the transformed Blake, they're in the tree hut, the hunting stand, when they're in there. That's happening in the daytime, because it starts at night and then it goes into the early morning, and it's in the daytime when she kills him when he comes up. And there's a really kind of a tragic part, because in the beginning of the movie, how they try to establish how the father and the daughter are close together, and like he can read her mind and stuff, and it's kind of cute the way they do that, scene where she can kind of read his mind. And then at the end, you see when the creatures, the transformed father is chasing them through the woods, and he climbs up on the stand, and he's staring at them, and she has the gun, and the daughter is there, and he's staring at them, and she goes up to him. I think she goes up to him and she touches him on the head, or she says, like, she can read his mind. She goes, he wants you to end it. Okay, she tells her mother he wants you to end it, and she shoots him and kills him. Okay, and therefore I guess ending this hit the father's unfortunate. And this movie again is a tragedy, because at the end of it, he wanted to be close to his family and all that stuff, but he actually went up there and actually, and he actually did save his family, because this creature, when that creature did break in, his father, the transformed creature, broke in there. He actually, he killed it. Even though he was transforming himself, he actually killed it. So he did protect his family in a way, and it is sad that, because that he really wanted to use this trip to get closer to his family, but unfortunately he got scratched by this creature and started to transform. And again, like I said, this is a different type of werewolf movie, because it's not playing by the rules that it has to be a full moon. Okay, this creature is, I think, once you get infected and get this disease, you're that creature all the time. And I think that's what happened probably to the father. I'm guessing about this, but I'm guessing that's what happened with the father, and that's why he went missing for so long. He probably went out there in the woods one day, after the son left, to hunt this creature, and he probably killed it. But before he got killed, he probably got scratched and maybe even got attacked by it, and he killed it. So that creature was, and then he started transforming, and then of course he was living out there in the woods and stuff. And again, it's a shame. Like I said, I know a lot of people didn't like the way the way he looked. And again, like I said, I think it works for this movie because this is more like not like a supernatural curse thing for this story. It's more of a, like the director said, I read, he said this is more like an infection, and he said it's more like how Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, after he went through the machine and he got the fly DNA and he slowly started transforming into basically a human fly. And he said that's more of this story of Blake slowly trying to hold on to his humanity but losing it, and slowly changing into this wolf-like creature who can't control anything, and eventually he's going to attack his family. Okay, and it's like I said, it's a tragedy because he went up there to try to went on this trip to get closer to his with his with the father thing, and also to get closer to his family, but he winds up getting infected and transforming into this creature and having to fight to protect his family while he's slowly turning into this creature, and ultimately he gets killed. He does protect his family, but ultimately he has to get that he has to be put out of his misery because he's this transformed creature who would probably just go on to live in this wooded area, which is it's really sad in a way. And again, I gave this movie 2.5 stars. It's not the best werewolf movie, and I don't want to. And I know, like I said, a lot of people. I think the Mr. H reviews specifically. I saw the title of it. He said basically he thought because there was I think a couple of people that got interviews with the director and stuff, and I guess he was saying that they paid shills because they got interviewed with the director, so they gave it good reviews and stuff. But I think these people can be objective. You don't have to. Again, I think a lot of people just want to be negative to be negative. Again, I'm a great horror fan. I love horror fans, and again, my favorite werewolf movie is the 1941 classic with Lon Chaney. I love that movie. I think that's the best werewolf movie, ever. I think the best transformation is American Werewolf in London, but I love The Howling. The 2010 version with Benicio del Toro. I like the director's cut of that. Like I said, I'm a big horror fan, and I do love, but I love Lon Chaney Jr. in the 1941 classic, which I think has all the elements that you could ever want in a tragic story about a hero trying to do the right thing, who's separated from his family, trying to get back. He meets a girl that he falls in love with, and he gets bitten and cursed trying to save her. And it's just a tragedy because the father, who doesn't believe him, winds up being the one to kill him, and that's how it goes off. So it's just a tragedy all the way around. But this movie, again, they tried to do something a little different than the standard. Again, it takes place over one night, which makes sense to me because I was thinking in my head before I saw this movie. I said, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense because I thought at first that they would be stuck in that cabin over a period of days and stuff, and then he would change eventually or something. But it makes sense that it takes place over a night. Once he got infected, that transformation came on real quick, and off it went. And it made sense because you would leave if it was the daytime, and if it was a classic werewolf movie, with the werewolf only coming out at night. Once it become daylight, they would just leave, just get in the truck, or just call for help, or in the woods. So I guess they can go down the road to a house or whatever and get out during the daytime when the creature is human or whatever. But it's not that story. When this creature in this story becomes is aware all the time. In this story, he's infected, so he's aware, a wolf-like creature all the time. And again, that's what happened to the father when he got infected. He slowly changed over those period of hours. He slowly started transforming because there are periods. Because there's a great scene when they break out of the house, and I think they I'm trying to think what they were doing. I'm trying to remember. They were on top of this thing. I forgot what they called it. One of these structures out, and they were on top of it, and the creature was down below, and and the creature and the father basically told the family he's going to run to distract the creature so the creature could chase him. He couldn't really talk. He could just kind of pantomime man it. So he had to basically ran this way so the creature could chase him and had his family run in the house. And then later, like I said, he comes back in the house and you can see he's still not quite all the way the creature, and he basically I think he pantomimes to his wife that he's going to leave. Okay, but that's when the creature breaks into the house and he attacks him. And he's fighting the creature and he ultimately bites the creature and he bites the creature in the neck and kills it that way. And then that's when we see the tattoo on his arm. So we know that that's his father, Blake's father, that he was the creature, and that's probably the reason. That's the reason why he went missing all these years, because he probably got infected by the creature that was there before him, and now his son has it. And it's just again, it's a tragedy. And like I said, that scene at the end where they're in the hunting stand and the father, and there's a really scene when they're in the barn and there's like a trap, I think a bear trap in there, and he steps into it and he gets stuck there while the family runs out, where the daughter and the mother runs out, and he basically he bites his leg off. he bites down on his leg, at the bottom part of his leg, and so then you see him running through the woods after them on basically on three legs and a stub when he's chasing them. And then, like I said, at the end where he climbs up to the hunting stand where they're at, and the wife has the gun, and the daughter, her and the father had that, this thing where they would say, where the father said he could read her mind and stuff, and he pops up there at the top of the thing, and the wife is nervous, and the daughter kind of goes up to him and she looks at him and she tells the mother he wants this to end. She reads his mind and said he wants this to end, and the wife winds up shooting him and killing him. And like I said, it's a tragedy again, because the father, who wanted to bring his family back closer together, unfortunately got cursed by coming up there and ultimately finding out that his father was the creature. And his father cursed him, and he slowly got infected. And so it's a tragedy all the way around. So again, I gave this movie 2.5 stars. Again, it's not the worst horror movie. It was something, they tried to do something different. This is not as good as the Invisible Man remake that his take on the Invisible Man. It's not a remake of the Claude Rains one. It's a different version, and it really was based on stalking and stuff, and it was actually a really good movie, the one with Elizabeth Moss that Lee Wendell directed. So that was a really good movie, and this is not as good as that movie. Okay, and I wish they did spend more time in the beginning of the movie with the family, so you could get their dynamics more, you could see their dynamics more, so you could actually care about what happens to them towards the end. So you could actually, you would have to be more heavily invested if they had more scenes of them together in the beginning of the movie, because they spend a very brief time with them in New York before they go on the road and go to the Oregon to where his father lived. Okay, and I think that would have got you more invested in the story of this family and stuff. But it's a okay watch. Okay, that's why I give it 2.5 stars. It's not a perfect movie by any means at all. Okay, but it's a little different than the classic werewolf movies and stuff. They treated it more like an infection, okay, which happened over a period of one night, okay, which made sense to me, because I was thinking before this movie started, I said, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense if this is a normal werewolf movie. Once the daylight comes, they could just they could just run out of there. But the father was sick, so I was trying to think maybe is that the reason why they would stay in the cabin, because the father is sick? And they couldn't get any cell service or anything, and maybe they stay in the cabin. It maybe take place over 2 to 3 days, and they stayed in the cabin because the father was sick, and they're trying to get him better, and they couldn't really move him and stuff. And remember, the truck they were driving crashed, and I think there was the truck outside that they had to basically jump with a cable thing. And there was the scene that you see in the trailer, I think it's where you see them go to the truck, and the mom and the daughter in the truck, and they're she's trying to turn the truck over and stuff. The father's in the back of the truck, the father that's slowly transforming, and the creature that reaches through the glass, that's the father creature. I thought at first that was the father creature when I saw that little clip. I think that was in the second trailer. I thought that was actually the father, the transformed father, but that was actually Blake's father, the original Wolfman that scratched him. That's who that was. Okay, and so that's when you see them run and get on top of that structure and stuff outside that you see later in the movie. But again, I'll give it 2.5 stars. It's not the worst movie. I know people are giving it crap. I've seen some reviews of people saying it was awful and it's disappointing and all this stuff. It's just a different take on the werewolf story. Okay, and again, maybe it's not for everyone, but I give it 2.5 stars. It was enjoyable for me. It wasn't the best werewolf movie, not by a long shot, but it was entertaining, and I see what he wanted to do. The director, he wanted to do something a little different than the classic werewolf story. Okay, so again, anyway, I give it 2.5 stars. Let me know what you think of this movie, The Wolfman. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. In the description box, I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. I also have a link to my other channel, Paul Views and Opinions. You check that out as well. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. My Patreon's only $5 a month. Tons of content, over 200 videos, 5-minute preview clips. Follow the link. It'll take you to my page. Also in the description box, I have a link to my merchandise store. As you can see, I'm wearing my baseball shirt. I have links. Follow the link. It'll take you to my store. You'll see all the merchandise that I'm selling, and that's another way for you to support me. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.